So what's being expressed is the profound simplicity of the ordinary, the everyday. It's the raw, it's the unfiltered, it's the direct, like symphony of sound seemingly appearing, the intricate dance of ideas and thoughts, the visceral surge of emotions, all unfolding in their unadorned, raw authenticity. It's this so-called life, even if we can call it that, I don't know, unfurling in its unaltered, unapologetic glory. This, what is, as it is, undeniably this, and not this, or whatever seems to come, whatever seems to go. It encapsulates this deeply resonant beauty that resides within the everyday, that cannot be denied. Those seemingly mundane moments, those ordinary appearances that often go unnoticed, seemingly overlooked time and time again. In its essence, it's this unfolding of something that is not known, without any pretense, without any concealment. It's this unapologetic acceptance of what is, although there's no one accepting what is. It's just what is. The unwavering acknowledgement of this authenticity in every moment. In every moment, although there are no moments in this momentlessness. So in this apparent appearance, this apparent existence unfurls, but no entity inhabits it. There is no one behind anything. There is no source, so to speak. There exists no gaze peering out from it. There's nothing behind the eyes. There's nothing behind it. There's no consciousness, surveying the surroundings. Nothing lays claim to its knowing. So there's really no cognizing. Yet there's anything. It's just this. Nothing, everything, whatever seems to appear. Is this very pulse of this aliveness, the horayness, the boom, the everyday, the seemingly ordinary appearances, devoid of distinct consciousness or awareness. It lies dormant unless it chooses to appear as just this, although there's no one choosing. So the closest approximation to kind of like add to this is the enigma is perhaps an intelligence, but not an intelligence that's confined to human understanding or thought, not an intelligence as a source, not an intelligence as a being. It's devoid of a grand intellect behind the scenes. There's no one behind this. There's nothing behind this. It cannot be thought about. There's no deity-like figure that seems to appear as an idea. It's absent of that. It simply exists, yet it's not an entity. Words perpetually tread the path of contradiction. So all of these words that are coming out, it's nothing that I will ever say. It's nothing that anyone has ever said. It's nothing that you will ever hear. It's nothing that can be understood. It's nothing that can be comprehended, because what's being expressed is already what is. Seemingly, there might be an idea that this is an intelligence. Seemingly, there might be an idea that this is nothing. But none of that can capture what cannot be captured, simply because already as it is already this. And what this is, this unthinkable, unknowable, yet seemingly it appears in everything, seems to collapse the thinker into just this. There's nothing to know, there's nothing to find, there's nothing to figure out, because it's already inherently this. And what this is not a proclamation. It's not even a statement, really. It's just a label of something that cannot be labeled. There's no concept of right or wrong. There's no something to attain or categorize as right or wrong. It's just this. There's no opposites. There is no distinctions. This is just the absolute stripping away of such notions. So what transpires is just a seeming response to stimuli, with no responder. So there's really no cause and effect as well. It is just this abundance. And also the poverty of trying to figure out this abundance. There's nothing that can be known because what seems to appear already is appearing as this sound that's appearing out of nowhere, appearing as this listening, but there's no one listening behind it. So what's being expressed is this ageless. What is this? It doesn't have a birthday. It doesn't have an expiration because it never began. It will never end. It defies any description because the moment that there is a moment of understanding or a word that is assigned to something or a thought conceived, it becomes this delusion of something that cannot be comprehended. In this immediateness, in this celebration of what is, it's just whatever seems to appear in this unending free fall. But there's no free fall experience. This ageless, meaningless appearance that appears as this conversation, this communication, this appearance of saying something that cannot be said is what's being expressed here. The celebration of what isness, the celebration of as it is, no matter what it is. The incomprehensible but yet undeniable appearance of something that cannot be seen is this. And not this and this and whatever this is, it's just this wow. It appears as this celebration of a birthday of someone that was never born. It appears as this meeting, but there's no one meeting here. It's just this talking. It's just this appearance appearing. But is that even happening? It cannot be comprehended because comprehension just creates this knowing of something that cannot be known. But yet there's nothing to know because it is already what it is. It's beyond touch. It's beyond reach. It's just this. Always this. Perpetually this. It's this and this and this and not this. It's this laughter. It's this questions, the answers that will come after this introduction. It's not a part because it's inherently whole. Again, there's nothing that I will say or anyone can say that can create this appearance into an oblivion. It's not about experiencing nothing. It's not about an experience at all because it's beyond any of that. It's always this permanence without a second, without an opposite, without a two. It's already whole and complete. So thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions, we'll take it from there. Just so happy to be here. This is so great to see everyone's faces looking at these little boxes. And that's what's happening. It's just this little boxes, but there's nothing behind it. But there's all that really is left is just this unconditional love that cannot be comprehended. It's just this. So again, if you have any questions, because I'll just keep on talking and talking and talking.
Wow, Emmy, wow.
Wow.
That was awesome. Wow.
Thank you. I know that voice must be Rosa.
Oh, wow.
The boom, the Rosaness.
Mind blowing. Emmy, like, wow.
Hello.
Hello. Enjoy your birthday. Enjoy your birthday. You're amazing.
Thank you.
You're such a boomer. Okay, just this big hugs. Love you. Enjoy.
Big hug. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a friend of Rosa. She just invited me today.
Hi, Felix. Is that
hi,
Felix?
I'm also from Germany. I'm a big fan. I have the opportunity to be the first time with you today. It's a great honor to be and to celebrate your birthday with you.
The honor is all mine.
Yeah, it's so great. We would like to invite you to talk in the channel what Rosa is also doing and hosting. So
of course.
Yeah, that would be great to introduce to a wider audience in Germany. So thank you very much and greetings for your work. It's great.
Oh, thank you. Nothing was done, but
anyway,
Jenny, please go ahead.
Let's play the plays.
Yeah.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you. Yes, I would love to. Oh, just a moment.
Hi, Emerson. This is my first time. Happy birthday. It's so nice meeting you.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's just such a bundle of such pure energy. Although it's really contagious. Although I can't explain it. I have a question. That's why I raised my hand. So I don't know like how when I close my eyes and I'm just like silent, I'm aware that like the image of my body
Yes.
and this third person image of myself is a thought. Yeah. Oh, that's aware to me. It doesn't mean it always goes away.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's there. But then it gets a little deeper sometimes, and it gets energetic, and it feels like then even when the images go away, that there's this sense in my solar plexus and really strongly in my face,
yeah,
that I exist, that there's some presence here. And of course, then I just watch that and see that and whatever. And then it gets a little deeper. And sometimes it even feels like it's kind of weird, but sometimes it kind of feels like I can sense the skin binding. Like I just get into, I just am in the energy. Like I don't try to push it away or I don't try to do anything. And it feels really bound and contracted. And I'm just wondering, like, does that have to go away in order to have a permanent seeing? Because I know that I don't want to get stuck in this non-dual language, so I'm just gonna forget about the language. But
forget about it.
I've had glimpses and stuff, but I haven't had what I guess you'd call like a permanent seeing. So I'm wondering, like, does that kind of energetic fixation does that have to bust, or is that also just an agenda of the mind? Like, because I asked myself, then who wants that? And of course, it's like the constructed me.
Yeah.
But this is, I don't know. Yeah, so my question.
The apparent character always looks for something to happen next. It's always looking for the next moment. So it uses this seeming comparison of a previous moment and it creates this narrative about something that happened to it. But what it does is it perpetually creates this reality of itself as something that needs to go or something that needs to be maintained or not something that needs to disappear permanently. But all of that is just the workings of a narrative of a narrator that's not there. So there's no one saying any of that. Meaning that what seems to appear is just this ideas and seeming memories, right? There's always going to be a felt sense of separation, meaning there's always going to be a character that's moving through time and space. Otherwise, you'd just be lying in bed not knowing what to do. You know what I'm saying? So there's just going to be this appearance of whatever seems to appear. That's also what is. So the experience that you were telling me before, that feeling, sensation and everything, that's what is. There's nothing wrong or right about what it is. It's just what is appearing as no matter what. So sometimes it can feel completely full. Sometimes it feels completely empty. But there's no one behind any of that. I'm not sure if I answered your question. If you want.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no one behind me then. So I guess I have a narrative.
Yeah, there's someone behind it.
Or that it will the realization, again, I don't want to get caught in the language.
That's okay.
In time and space, the realization will deepen, and at some point, because I don't have this experience that like I don't go through regular my day and like there's no me. I know intellectually, I know you've heard this 1,000 times from different people. I know intellectually, but it just comes and goes. There's whiffs of it, but there hasn't been a stabilization of it. So
yeah.
I'm thinking something. I know I'm thinking there's still something that has to be done.
Yeah. So the apparent character creates another idea of what it should be. There should be stabilization. There should be this. There should be that. So it creates excuses to deny, what already is. So at this very apparent appearance, this directness, there's already no one there. It's already done. And yet the moment that it thinks something that is missing, then it creates this narrative that, well, I'm not quite there yet. There's something that's missing or whatever. So that missing or that lack is also what is appearing as a lack, meaning that this is already inherently whole and complete already. So no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter what you think, no matter what you feel even, does not take away that this is already what is. It has nothing to do with you, basically, is what I'm trying to say in a very blunt way. It has nothing to do with the appearance of what you think or not about it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, even if it's experienced as like a flat understanding,
yeah,
the experience, the non-dual experience doesn't necessarily have to be.
Well, there's really no non-dual experience, right? Because the moment that you think that there's an experience, then it's attached to you, to your idea of what an experience should be. And again, you know what? There's this romanticized idea of what is an apparent non-dual seeing, that it has to be this boom, you know what I'm saying? But or it has to be this apparent moment in time where everything seems to whatever. Any of that is just a narrative of something that cannot really be told because it already is. I like what Gunvar. It's all add-ons to what already is. Kind of like what Gunvar said there. This is already, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like what I said. It doesn't matter how you feel or not feel about it. It's constantly this. It can never be separate from what seems to appear. So it could be the most mundane thing. It could be the most boring thing. Or it could be, a hooray thing, or anything in between. Because it's not an attainment, so to speak. It's not in the next. So when there's really no separation, what's different from this and the wow? What's the difference from this from the boring? Nothing really. It's always this.
But so it's even almost the feeling of separation, even the feeling of this separation, and it's painful, and you feel isolated, and that's even that.
That's even that, yeah. Sometimes I hear from characters that, in their darkest moment, there's a seeing that there's no one behind it. So it does not have to appear in the height of like bliss and everything, right? It could be in the darkest event where there is really nothing behind anything. So some people could go through excruciating pain, you know what I'm saying, in this appearance. And then they see, not they, of course, saying there's a clarity that there's nothing behind this. It's always this, no matter what. It's always this, even if you don't think it is this. It's not. It has nothing to do with your thinking.
Mm-hmm. Or energetic.
But seemingly, it appears and also in the thinking. So it's never. It can never be. It can never be extracted out from any apparent moment. It's never missing. I've used this in a one-on-one. Basically, it's like looking for the most still lake. So you're looking for the still lake, but you're looking for the still lake with a motorboat. So the moment that you drive, in the still lake, the motorboat, it has all of this noise, and you're like, I can't find this still lake. Sometimes when the motorboat runs out of gas at night, and then it's stillness again, but it's overlooked that it's already it. So it's always overlooked. It's always, seen as something that is in the next, but it's always this. It's already this.
Sorry, just one other quick question. So this narrative, like that's something energetic, even the energetic feeling, it's not that. Because often you'll hear in this non-dual scene, like, oh, something has to energetically.
It could be that as well. It's not a denial of that, I'm saying. It could be whatever it is. So some apparent characters, I'm saying, there's an energetic burst or whatever, or sometimes the heaviness seems to be lifted off, but sometimes it's not even noticed. So it doesn't have to be one thing. It doesn't have to be a definite thing, right? Because it already is. There seems to be just a little bit of, kind of like heaviness sometimes, of like, if you're caught up in a motorboat and and there's an overlooking of the still lake that is already on, then all it hears is the motorboat. All it hears is the engine, so to speak.
Mhm.
It's caught up in the seeking, not seeing that what's seeking this is already this, meaning it's already on the still lake. It's the still lake looking for the still lake, but focused on the movement.
Thank you. Mhm.
Thank you. If you have more questions, it's keep it coming. Keep it coming. It's beautiful. Thank you. Oh, there's a question here from iPhone and then Maria. Go ahead, iPhone. Oh, Kathy.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, iPhone. I have to change it. I'll ask about still later. What I wanted to ask, because it triggers, I get triggered. You use the word permanent, and permanent means
Again,
time bound.
Don't get caught up in the words that I say. Even the words that I say, I always say, you know what? It's not in what I say. Permanence is just another word for constancy. Permanence is just another word. So there's sometimes, say, an attachment to some words. It's not in the words. You know what I'm saying? So sorry about that. Let's scrap that word permanence out.
I know.
It doesn't matter.
Then
you know?
I want to know what's permanent. Where is it?
The permanence is the silence that is always this, meaning that in everything.
I know, but it's not always silence. Even in the most, even in the deepest wood, it's not woods. It's not always silence.
But according to who, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're saying silence. According to who?
Let's just change the word to
See,
what
we have
cannot
to change
be moved.
all the words.
It's just words, yeah.
Every freaking word.
And that's why
I don't
there's
like
always
that.
Yeah.
It
it's
gives
okay.
me problems. I have problems. I have big problems. I have questions. Bill.
And that's okay.
Bill, everybody's happy. Boom, boom, drop this, that. I keep fighting this. I'm never
But
satisfied.
who's fighting it?
I don't know.
There you go. There you go. So the I don't know is looking for the I don't know when it's already I don't know.
Yeah, but it's the
Did you hear that?
Don't you?
So the I don't know is looking for the I don't know when it's already the I don't know. So it's all the I don't know.
But it fights. There's fighting here. I have to say it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't have to be sorry. That's okay.
I know I don't have to be sorry. Are we keeping count? All right. I get it. Let go for a while, but okay. I'll formulate some more because it's not pretty.
It's not in the words. It's not in the formulation. It's already is. Yeah. It's just really simple, right? The simplicity is often overlooked when the simplicity is questioned. But what is seeking this is already this. So the I don't know is longing for the I don't know when it's already the I don't know. It's already this. Thank you. Maria, please go ahead.
Hiya.
Hello. Hiya. How are you doing?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, how do I lower this hand? Reactions, lower hand.
I've been I was watching the 5-day retreat thing.
Yeah.
And then I just got like this like overlord in my head that was very like just basically conceptualizing this.
Yeah.
And quite like aggressively.
Yes.
Overriding everything, pushing it down.
Of course, yeah.
There's no one here. You're not supposed to. Emerson says this. Emerson says this. Emerson says this, until I just want to punch you. I mean, I don't want to punch you.
Perfect.
Not on your birthday anyway.
It's not.
No, but it's not actually that I want to punch you. It's just that it's like the energy with which the calls are joined is very seeky. Like it's very like I'm tired, I don't really want to, but there's some kind of like, yeah, but you need to do this because then you might get the thing you're looking for.
That's the curse of knowing, right? So the curse of knowing is it creates this narrative that there's something that needs to know, that there's something that's lacking, there's something that's missing. that there's something that he has that I don't have. There's an Emerson actually that has got something that I need to figure out.
Yeah.
And the irony is, all I ever say is there's nothing to figure out. It's already this. What's being illuminated, there's nothing needed, over and over and over again. Throughout the 5-day thing, right? It gets into talk and everything that it's already this. So there's not about the words or the, any sage's words or any words for that matter that can change what already is. So the negotiator keeps on negotiating what is into something that it has to know. Again, kind of like what I said to Kathy there, that the I don't know is longing for the I don't know, because there's nothing to know, even if it's heard over and over again, that this is unknowable. This is a mystery. The apparent seeker does not want to give up on that energy that it needs to know. But what it's really afraid of, it's when it sees, when it basically sees that this is just really an I don't know, then the knower energy is not necessary. There's no not knowing needed. Okay. So the knowing is not necessary. And it keeps on running on that seemingly path of destruction, only to revitalize itself by seeking more. Does that make any sense? Yeah, so it creates this narrative that, what am I missing? I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
And that very essence, you know what I'm saying? That very essence of that questioning revitalizes it, reinforces it over and over and over again, because seemingly what seems to appear is just this appearances, this seeming kind of like, concerto of thoughts, you know what I'm saying? But rather than seeing it as just music and everything to what is, it becomes a narrative. It becomes a, what do you call that? A manifesto that something has to be done.
Who would see that it's just music?
No one. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So when the words don't seem even to matter anymore, when it's just music, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't, it doesn't have to be like, I remember one time when I used to listen to Jim, that I would keep on rewinding over and over. I'm like, what does he mean by this?
Yeah, I do that.
And I would write it down over and over again, like a crazed up seeker, kind of like, until I figure it out. But there's nothing to figure out in those words. Kind of like if you watch a couple of the one-on-ones, when it's instant, they're like, oh, nothing that you say even matter. There are no words.
I just had that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's searching for a deep release.
Yeah, but that deep release,
so much
for
lighter
who?
Than that.
For who though? Yeah. For who and for what reason?
Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
But
now it's like, so Emerson helped me and he knows.
See, that's the knower again, right? But that's just music, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like music in an elevator, from a really cheesy 80s movie. Dun, 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 dun. Like the bossa nova. And then you try to figure out, like, what song is that? Oh, it's from Astrid Gilberto, the girl from Ipanema. What does that song mean? When it's just really just instruments. Dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? It's just background music. Who cares?
Yeah. And then there's like the
song, by the way, is a girl from Ipanema.
Yeah. Good song.
It is.
It conceptualizes.
It conceptualizes everything. So the concept of a me or a character only works in concepts. But what is cannot be conceptualized. So we'll just go seeking in concepts and concepts and concepts and concept until it's buried in concepts and basically says, I don't want any more concepts. But it overlooks that everything is already cannot be conceptualized. So the seeking energy runs in circles in concepts. But when it runs out of that gas, for seeking, everything cannot be conceptualized. It's just this dizzying, free falling, not dizzying. There's no one to get dizzy. Free falling without a landing. Not as an experience, but just this liberation that does not have any meaning or source.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the liberation for whatever seems to appear. So it could appear as this music playing in an elevator, and it can appear as the thinking about what song is that playing in the elevator, kind of like music. But
It feels
both
like,
are, yeah, sorry.
Well, no, it feels like the thinking about it though is like the bad place.
See, that's
because it feels like shit.
Yeah, because again, that's again trying to capture, you know what I'm saying, trying to put in a box something that is boundless.
And then I'm like, all right, well then how do I not try to put it in a box?
That's another box that you put the box into the other box.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, no, there's just this like very and it's I think
it just becomes this Pandora's box, right? Like box, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, like a Russian doll.
Not Russian doll is a more, yeah, it just becomes this seeming kind of like understanding. And then when it says that it cannot be understood, then that even becomes an understanding.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I hang out a lot, apparently.
And then when it cannot, when it sees that's just another understanding, then it wants basically to not understand anymore.
Yeah, which is I just start, there's just so much suffering there that it's like, oh fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
but you have come, the character, saying has gone to the meaning and being sort of thing, right? There's like clarity.
Yeah.
Like no other, like, like I've heard you speak with a lot of clarity, and then you dive into inquiry again and working or whatever the character seems to do.
Yeah, but then I started, when I was listening to you, then I made a rule to not go into inquiry. And and then that was like really miserable too. So I just don't really, that's the little bit I just can't.
So like that 5-day thing is meant to exhaust and starve the seeker, right? You know what I'm saying? Although there's no purpose or meaning to it because it never gets anywhere. And there's no grasping, there's no comprehending. It's just basically an undoing of something that has never really started. Like one character will assume that it has a whole bunch of knowledge and wisdom under its belt, when that is being shown as just completely pointless, irrelevant. Then it goes into some suffering, thinking that it wants to know more.
Yeah.
It wants to be relevant, basically, when it's irrelevant.
Yeah, fucking hell, man. The specialitis.
Very
strong. Okay.
I'm just gonna mute Catherine there for a moment. Yeah, it's just a seeming case of specialitis that wants to know, and by knowing, then it makes itself relevant. But it's not really relevant or even irrelevant. It's just what is.
Yeah, and okay, so yesterday I went to see this guy called Nick Mulvey, who's like a really good musician, who kind of sings about stuff that I sing about, which is whatever that is.
Yeah.
And it's like I still like really love all that stuff too, though. Like
there's nothing wrong or right about anything.
I know, but that's confusing, because it's like okay, so there's, I can see how it's okay. Yeah, so it's like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Here we are. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There was someone that I was doing a one-on-one with, and I think it was the second one, and basically the second time basically said it was just basically saying that I was in the middle of my transcendental meditation when I saw that this is not necessary, and that was the end of the story.
Right.
Yeah.
And whether they kept meditating or not doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So the character is still out of habit, still does it, but also sees that it's not necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because out of habit, there's still just so much. I need to go here to get this because I want this. The just desire and attachment and
yeah. So the seeming challenge for a character that has so much on their tool belt, right?
Yeah.
Those tool belts just maintains, perpetually just reinforces the characters there's something missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's what makes me special for sure.
Exactly.
What's believed.
Kind of like when I was a spiritual teacher, and one of my good friends basically said, Emerson, I don't know what you're going through, but you have so much on your tool belt. You could have easily, you thought all of this already and everything. Why don't you use? And basically, I was like, all of them are BS.
Yeah.
All of them. And I did workshops after workshops after workshops. And that was what was difficult to admit and to see that again, there's nothing wrong or right about that. But for this character, that just reinforced the character as either saint or sinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't really know what I'm going to do with my time.
Well, you know what? I did offer that after that 5-day, we're going to wipe it out clean. Just let me know when.
Okay.
Again, that's not an instruction or anything, right? It was just to, like, when you're really sick and tired of this, just say it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll just go through it. And if it takes if it takes a couple of hours of just completely, like, screaming and whatever, there's nothing that's going to be given because nothing is needed. But that's what's going to be illuminated. It already is. It already is, no matter what it is. And no matter what you come up with or not come up with, it doesn't matter because it already is the case. It's already this blooming whatever it is that seems to appear, this movement, this clarity that is often overlooked by looking at the clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let me know. Just message me. But keep on asking the questions. Keep on asking the questions.
Yeah, I might come back in the I might come back in the All right, thank you.
Okay. All right. I have Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
I didn't mean, I did.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. I forgot about the chat here. Oh, thank you so much, Kim. Thank you so much, Catherine. Cheryl goes, let's the music play. Yes. Yes. No, it's not. Just email me. Yeah. The tool sometimes is fun. Yeah, you know what? It's just kind of funny, right? Until it's not anymore, because the tool sometimes is a means to get out of something. When it's not working, Maria knows this, it becomes excruciatingly painful because nothing is working. It's kind of like the drugs that used to get you high is no longer working. Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hey.
Hello. Oh, thank you, Mark. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I feel Maria's pain. I was at Templis weekend event.
Oh, here. Good. How was Tim?
It was great. I mean, it was a lot of fun meeting all the people that were so nice and so lovely. But yeah, even though I asked a lot of questions there, it was still like I still have questions. I'm still just very frustrated, and it's
well, that's all you have really is questions.
Yeah. So everything you're saying is just completely meaningless. Like all the words are meaningless.
All the questions and all the answers are all meaningless, right? Because it already is. It's just really to clarify that there's really nothing needed, that it's already complete, it's already whole and complete. It's inherently so. So there's no question that could, it's just a clarity that there's nothing to get, there's nothing to know because it already is. Maybe it's just clearing up maybe some questions, but go ahead with some questions.
Yeah, well, I think I forgot the question. So the sense of that I need to seek is just an idea that I got, or what, or
it's just this, we don't even know what it is, right? It's just this seeming appearance of what is, seeking for what is when it's already what is. So there's no you, but what this is that's asking a question is already what is. It's already this, asking a question about this when it's already this. So all I could say is that it's already this. And the seeming questions will keep on going and going and going and going and going. But there's no one controlling, there's no one doing any of that. That's basically beyond anyone's control because there's no one that's controlling any of this. So the attempt to seemingly kind of like get to figure out what this is just another control tactic of something that does not need any kind of manipulation.
Yeah, there's already no one in control.
There's already no one, yes. No one, someone, whatever seems to appear as an idea of what this is. It could be an idea that there's someone here, there's no one here. Both are irrelevant. All thoughts are irrelevant. And it doesn't matter if you travel, if you travel all the way here and ask me the question, right?
I really want to do that at some point. Come to Canada and ask you.
Yeah. Well, come. We'll hang out. We'll show you the CN Tower. Was it last week? I had a couple of people that came from one from UK and one from Texas somewhere. Wow. And the first thing that I said was, "There's nothing that I will say that will get you there. It's already here. There's, you know what I'm saying? This will not happen in time."
Yeah.
Kind of like when we were having that chat, it's nothing that I said, because if it was something that I said, you would have remembered it.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
No, I don't remember.
There you go. See?
and I couldn't care about trying to remember it because too many words.
Too many words, yeah. And again, it's not about the words. It's not about what I say or what you hear, because it already is, no matter if I say 1,000 words per minute. Or if I don't say anything at all. Because it's in everything. It's in the silence. It's in the gaps between what I say.
Yeah.
It's in the silence in everything that I say. But what's always there is the silence and not the words. The words come in and out. But there's always silence for the word to appear, for the sound to appear. There has to be some silence where there is it's an inherently there. It can never be denied, because without the silence, there'll be no words. So the words that are appearing, the sound that seems to create this narrative, is irrelevant. What is always constant is the quietness, the silence that all of these sounds seemingly emanate from, where all it's coming from. And that doesn't move. The words are just the movements of something that cannot be budged. It cannot be shook. It can never be changed. And that's what's looking for. The stillness is looking for the stillness, but it's already the stillness. You are not your words. You are not your thoughts. There's not even a you outside of a thought. So what is that cannot be claimed by you, by a thought, is already still. It doesn't move. So looking for stillness in movement is irrelevant. So what's being expressed here is that there is no difference from the silence and the words. There's no difference from the listener and the speaker.
Right. There's
What
no
is
asking a question, not asking a question. It's
Yeah.
already the same.
It's the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Because what is seemingly immovable is the silence in between the words. It's the gaps. But it's not it. But the silence is always there. The quietness. You can't create great sound without silence. There's this permanence, right? There's this. I don't want to use that word. Sorry. There's this stillness. There's this immovable, unchangeableness that does not move, does not make a sound, does not interfere, does not budge, cannot be changed. It's always there. It's there when you're sad. It's there when you're happy. It's there when you're seeking. It's there when you're not. It's always there. So it's overlooked because what seems to be seeking it is also it. It is already it, no matter what you think of it. But it has nothing to do with you. So the one that's seeking this, the one that thinks that's seeking this, is just an illusory appearance of what cannot be moved.
I guess I'm confused what you mean by you when you say you.
There's no you, really.
Yes, I've heard that. I've heard that a lot.
I know.
Also in the weekend. I've heard that many times.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't even matter what I say. If I say that there's no you or there's a you, it's the same thing. It's just blah, 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 blah.
I like
the blah.
blah, blah,
So there's this, what's another word? This constancy. And there's blah, blah, blah. It stops. Constance. Blah, blah, blah. Constantly there. So what's being longed for is the constancy, but it's looking for in the blah, 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 blah. So all of it here is just another blah, 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 blah. But what's always there that's never changing is the unknowable this. It's the immovable this. It's the incomprehensible this. It's the unknowable this. But in this unknowable this, it's always constantly this. So you can appear as a knowing, it can appear as an understanding, but there's no understanding it.
Right.
Because the appearance of knowing and understanding is just that. It's just a blah, 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 blah of something that does not need an understanding, does not need any knowing, because it's already it.
And even the mind trying to understand.
There's no mind that even. What mind?
Yeah.
It's just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's not about capturing the blah, 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 because it will just get more blah, 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 blah. It will just get more noise.
Any new question that comes up is just more blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And all I say is also blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's not about in the wisdom or figuring out something, because it already is. So for example, you're looking for the greatest stage, or whatever. The stage is empty. Then you get caught up with all of the acts. There's this person singing on the stage, there's a person tap dancing on the stage. And then you think that you're looking for the dancer or the singer. But what is already is just the empty stage. It's just empty. It's always empty no matter what. There are appearances in the seeming appearances in emptiness. Don't get caught up with the word emptiness again. It's just hard to come up with words that does not have any meaning. They're all empty words, by the way.
Yeah.
They're all blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Well, and even the thoughts and ideas of like, how do I get this? They're just blah, 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 blah. So engaging in the blah, 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 blah will just get more blah, 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 blah. It's completely meaningless. It's like this is the same as a dog barking.
Yeah.
The birds chirping, right? It doesn't have any meaning.
Right.
But the bird has more clarity because it's just chirping without any reason or meaning. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
It's just an appearance. Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Kathy, hello. Oh, I can't hear you. You have to unmute.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, because you unmuted me, I see. I couldn't find the thing. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, the bird chirping. But you gave meaning. Emerson just gave meaning. I mean, you've said it to me 1,000 times, not to me, to the whatever.
Yeah.
Probably 1,000, 1,100. Nobody would believe I've been listening to this message for 2 years and have more questions every day. Oh yeah. You just gave me significant meaning when you said, because I'm having a hard time with stillness and silence, and in between each word.
In
Yeah.
between
So
all the
something,
blah, 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 blahs, there's just going to
yeah. So
be.
something really just got
Yeah.
really inside me, and it's making me like, I don't know. I have a lot of questions now.
Let's call the silence what is. So there's always what is. That is always what is.
That's great. I mean,
Yeah.
that is great.
Yeah.
Now I'm really going to have to get out the meditation cushion. It's driving me crazy. Stop.
Oh, I can't hear you again. You muted. Okay. Still muted. Oh, I can't hear
Thank you. I said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Kathy. Hi, Dr. Leela. The infamous book. Yes, it's already done, but there's just a lot. Again, it's all blah 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 anyway, right? But yeah, thank you. I'll get to it. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
Hello.
I was just sitting there and two words came to me. One of them is like immediacy.
Yeah, I like that word actually. I use it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one is like an inhabiting.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So the thing with words, right? It doesn't matter of how empty the speaker tries to. Oh, there's no one trying. It's just the empty words that are coming out. The words are going to be duplicitous. It will always have a duality. Anything that is said will have a duality. Even if you say non-duality, then people will assume right away that there's duality. So let's just throw all the words away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just because what seems to appear and what's noticed here is that when someone, for example, is listening to a particular speaker, for instance, then he gets caught up in the words that they say. And that's why I'm saying that it's not in the words that I'm saying. I'm not even saying anything, really. It's not even in the words that you cling on to because there's nothing to cling on to. It's like clinging to a cloud. And that cloud can dissipate, can vanish and everything, and there's nothing to cling on to. That's what is. It's not about clinging to because it's just a cloud. Cannot be clung on to. I used to, as a seeker, I used to cling on to words like nothing and everything, and I would get stuck in nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, it's because there's an instant definition. There's an instant labeling when it comes to words, right? There's an identification, so to speak, of what seems to appear as is. So what appears, whatever this is, defies logic, defies understanding, defies meaning. So right away, the instantaneous appearance tries to capture this by labeling it as important or not important or lacking or missing. Hence the survival of the character that seems to claim this. Since it can't claim this, then it thinks of another to claim. Maybe not now. Maybe I will get this tomorrow. But there's no tomorrow as well, so it hides in shadows. So when the lights are all turned on, nothing's missing.
And the inquiry loop happens because it's like, I should know there isn't a tomorrow, versus like, do you know what I mean? It's like it then like goes out of its way to
the
like
knower, which is the seeker, can only function in knowing. When it unknows, it doesn't exist. So it's afraid of its reality that it's really nothing.
But it also feels really good. Like
when all of that weight of that, of that longing, right, seems to kind of like just, if it's like, for example, there is a, like you had a dream, like at nighttime dreaming, you have multiple problems and you wake up and you're like, oh, that was just a dream. None of it. I don't have any problems. Mm-hmm. This is the same that's being talked about, right? So there's this.
It's too damn simple. Yeah. So what is a brain like mine meant to do? Just
there's no brain. See, that creates another yes. What brain?
Okay. There's just like poetry brewing.
Yes, it is. It is. It's just this poetry that is just kind of like, it just goes into this beautiful kind of like, expression of something that cannot be expressed. It's trying to express the inexpressible. It's trying to know the unknowable. That's poetry, right?
And all of it's poetry.
It is. Yeah. Yes. With no meaning or purpose, you know what I'm saying?
No, but poetry doesn't have meaning or purpose.
Exactly. Poetry That's what it is. There you go. Yeah. It's just this profound gift unfolding. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't have a receiver. And there's no giver.
Dance.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. David. Hi, David.
Hi, Emerson.
Hello. Oh, hi, David.
Hi. See you. How's it going? Is it actually your birthday today?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you, David.
Yeah, it's good to be here. So, sorry. Right. So, sorry, I've got a dog jumping across my lap. So, right, so it's great to see everyone, all the familiar faces. I've not been here for some time, but I used to come here quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I've been following this message for quite a few years. And the reason I left, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe a year, 18 months ago, or whatever. But the reason and I know we've done a one-on-one in recent months together. And I'd like to do another one. But the reason I left was because the questions kind of dried up, because ultimately because I knew they weren't going to get me anywhere.
Yeah.
And while questions can still pop up, and I could ask questions all day, I could have a conversation all day because it's a fascinating subject. I just know they're not going to get anywhere. So the reason I left was because I just found it unbearably frustrating that I was putting myself into a situation where I was attending all these meetings in the hope, which I knew it wasn't going to get me anywhere, in the hope that I would achieve something, and that is like liberation or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew at the same time that was never going to happen, and that it never does. It doesn't actually ever happen. And so I feel like so here I am again feeling, every now and again, I think about the message, I go a long walk and it's all nice and stuff like that. And I might watch a video once in a while and enjoy it, or I might not pay any attention to it, just have it on in the background. I often fall asleep listening to these videos and don't actually listen to the content. I just put it on because it sometimes makes you feel nice. And here I am again, feeling enormously frustrated by the whole thing, because I feel like through no conscious decision as such, I'm here.
Yeah.
And it's just stirring up all these same feelings of frustration and emotion. And the reason I left in the first place was in a kind of attempt to protect myself from all of that, because it's not pleasant, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so here I am again. And what am I doing?
I was exactly just like you, saying when I was seeking, right? Because I was just looking at the irrelevance of what's being talked about. But there, in essence, I was like, am I missing something? You know what I'm saying? It's something almost subconsciously that I was that gets keeping me drawn into it over and over again.
Yeah.
Is there a word that I missed? So is there a phrase that was said that I didn't get? Am I so stuck in my own definitions and everything? It has nothing to do with you, David. That's what's being said here. So all that frustration is also just what is appearing as that, right? And it creates this. And again, if you really look at that, if you buy into that, this frustration can create another loop. So maybe I will listen to this until the frustration is gone or whatever. It doesn't matter what you do or not do, because it has nothing to do with you. So the seeker immediately claims it, that this has something to do with me. So we'll call it frustrating. And the opposite, we'll call it liberating, saying both are just narratives. It perpetuates the character as real. It creates this reality that I am here getting frustrated, or I am here feeling smiley and giddy about this communication. But there's not even a communication. There's not even a message here. This is just echoes of nothing, of silence, ping-ponging back and forth, echoing back and forth with no meaning. Because it doesn't matter what we say, or no matter how much you've listened to this, it's already done. It's like the dream is over, but there's no dreamer in it. So it keeps on pressing the snooze button and hoping that it will get something in the dream. But in the dream, it's just a dream. It doesn't matter if, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you do or not do. And because there's really no one choosing it. Basically, it's already written and all the pages are blank. It's already done. But there's a narrator seemingly well, if I listen to this one, maybe it will be done. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what statement or what thought comes in and out, seemingly in this appearance, right? Because it's already over.
But, it kind of feels like it is over, but
it is.
But without like anything to suggest that it is.
Well, that's.
And I don't know if that's just lots of years of hardcore radical non-dual conditioning. Do you know what I mean?
Seemingly, because
there could be an inner voice in the head, that sounds like me, but is essentially Tony Parsons and Emerson and all of these other people. That's the voice in the head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Almost as if.
Oh yeah. Again, you know what? There was never really a problem.
That can explain everything.
Yeah. There was so never really.
Is that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Is that legitimate? Or is that phony? Do you know what I mean?
You're just coming up. It's just another kind of another denial of what already is, by saying that it has something to do with the speaker, like Tony or Emerson. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with what I say or what Tony says, for that matter, right? I can't speak, in behalf of him, but there's nothing that I say that will change things, because it's already done. And if you listen to my last couple one-on-ones, and that was very evident, I basically said to the character, there's nothing that I will say that will get you out of this. And then all of a sudden, the character was not even listening anymore. It's it's not in the words that you said, isn't it? I'm like, no. And then we were just laughing. Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny, right? He was there in the very beginning of me speaking, the very first time that I spoke, that one speaker could not make it. So it was just almost like, what, he kind of like your story. He quit it too, saying he unsubscribed and everything. And when it was just, when it finally dawned on him, not on him, that, oh my goodness, this speaker is really not saying anything. This speaker is not really talking in concepts, although it sounds conceptual and everything, but the character is conceptual. So I can only get this conceptually, but what is being expressed is not a concept. But since talking is a concept, all the blah, 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 blah is conceptual. But the blah, 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 and the immediacy, the directness of what is that cannot be captured is simultaneously, seemingly, you know what I'm saying, appearing spontaneously without any separation. So the blah, 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 blah creates this immediacy of kind of like this idea that there's something separate, but the blah, 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 blah is also what is. So when there's a focusing on what's being said, then it misses the whole thing that there's no point. It's looking for a point when there's no point. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get that. That's why I don't need to listen to like your introductory speech today. I'm sure it was great, but I didn't listen to a word of it.
Good.
And I didn't have a problem with that, you know. And there isn't this, oh, what could I have missed? You know, I need to get the understanding of everything. It used to be like that, but I know that isn't the answer. The answer's not in that. That's not it. It's not in there.
No. Again, it's kind of like looking for wholeness and then focusing on the parts. Yeah. Everything is already inherently complete, right? So there's already completion in everything, meaning that you know, it's like the whole narrative has completely ended. It's the end. But you're still in chapter 2 and chapter 4, like maybe chapter 17. No, it's already over.
Yeah, feels like chapter 217 at the moment. All right, Emerson, thanks very much. Listen, I really enjoyed listening to your AI chat with that lady the other day.
Yeah, she's here. If you want to,
I've spent all weekend watching AI videos. It's an amazing subject. It really is.
It is.
The fact that they're like an IQ of 155 already, which is way above the average person, is quite fascinating, isn't it? Really, it's an interesting few years if we make it that far. Anyway, excellent. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. We're going to do some more of those conversations. You know, we're going to make it into series because it's just really fascinating.
That's great. I love the idea of the fact that humans will very likely see these AI as God, you know, and perhaps look up to them. And who knows, it might split society. It might be the new religion is looking up to the God, you know. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing subject. All right. Thanks again.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Amy. Hello, Amy. Hello.
Hi, Emerson.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
Thank you for this. Really appreciated.
Of course. It's really nothing. But
and on that subject, so I was just sort of listening to everything that was going on, and I liked what you said. You said it's sort of looking, I can't remember what you said, but you said something like it's like looking for the everything in the details or something like that.
Yeah, it's already complete, it's already whole, and then the seeking is looking for the parts.
Yeah,
so it overlooks the whole, meaning the seeking is also it.
That's the thing, because then I came to like, oh yeah, so seemingly like if there's an issue that needs to be resolved in the life or a healing of some kind, then it's like it felt like at that moment, oh, I'm leaving the whole to look at the details, and then I have to stay in the whole. So it's kind of like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd clarify that with you because that's a whole mindstorm.
Yeah, it's in everything, right? It's in everything. So to think of the whole breaks the thinking, because thinking is just a part of the whole. So meaning that it's unthinkable, right? There's seeming this understanding that just seems to compute and process what is being expressed here. So when it even thinks of the whole, it can't think of the whole.
Yeah, because there's still a feeling like, oh, I have to go back and think, you know, sort out the problems and do the healing.
That's also it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong or right about doing any of it. It's not about a denial. It's just this, it's whatever seems to appear. Right? If healing is needed, healing happens. It's not a rejection, so to speak, or not even an acceptance for that matter, right? It's just what seems to appear. So if there is a longing for healing, then healing, you know what I'm saying, going to something that can perhaps, facilitate that healing, you know what I'm saying, maybe a therapist or whatever, that's also it. It's not about denying something, because that's also a part of the whole. It's not fracturing something and just thinking that it's all, it's not a bypassing, so to speak. There's an idea that it's a bypassing or a negation or a denial. Nothing can be denied because it's already what is. Everything is already as it is. And it does not need any acceptance or denial for that matter, because it's inherently whole and complete already. It's all encompassing.
Yeah, I don't know why there's like a bit of there's like a bit of fear that comes up into the throat when I hear that.
Yeah. It's what sometimes appears, and this is just a story, is a rejection of what is. What the seeker usually does not want to see is that it's not really real. It maintains its reality by coming up with a whole bunch of stuff in the next moment, like healing has to happen, seeking has to end, dropping of me has to happen, and everything. It can't handle this, you know what I'm saying? Because when it sees this, then it ceases to exist. Meaning that it's irrelevant, anything that seems to appear. But by saying irrelevant, it does not mean a denial or a rejection. It just basically expresses that what seems to appear is already what is. It cannot, it doesn't matter if it's rejected or accepted, it will always be what is.
Yeah, it seems like in moments that's really clear, and then in moments there's like a more of a coming from the me energy, if you know what I mean. Like
that's just another idea though, right? There's always going to be this felt sense of separation, you know what I'm saying? And that's when you hold something and everything, there's always going to be this illusory, seemingly kind of like, fractured reality that there's separation. But without any words or without any ideas of what is, it's already complete, meaning it's not separate. And it does not have to make sense. It does not have to make any excuses. So any idea that seems to create this independent is not separate. And one of the reasons I don't talk about the me that much anymore, because it just perpetuates that there is a me when there's not really a me. There's nothing that needs to drop, so what's the point of talking about it or expressing it so much when there's just this boundlessness already? And that's also boundlessness. Even if eradicating that labeling that there is a me, what if that's just also boundlessness? Is there a problem with that? It's just what is.
It's just anything appearing.
Yeah, anything appearing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's really nothing to get.
Yeah. And that's the great news.
Yeah, so it's only ever seeking appearing in the moment.
Yeah, it's just seeking appearing, like hunger appearing. Eating happens, seeking happens, and then seemingly, saying longing for something happens, and then this. So this ends that hunger. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing to outside of this, so to speak. But the seeking is an imaginary hunger when it's already full and complete.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm.
It's like seeing that it's a night, it's a dream, and then trying to go back to the dream, trying to fix the dream. It's a dream. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? There's no fixing necessary.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. And even like the sense of me is an appearance.
It is. It
Mm.
is. Is there a sense of me when you're sleeping?
Yeah, and some of the characters, but it's like all of the characters.
Yeah.
And you
It's
switch
a
from one
dream. The
character
sense
to
of
the
me is
other.
also a dream. Yeah. It can appear as real. You know what I'm saying? It can appear like I'm moving through time and space, but that's just another appearance, isn't it? It's just what isness appearing as reality. It's just what isness appearing as this felt sense of separation. But since what is not separate from what is, whatever seems to appear is also what is. This is going to appear as whatever it is. So trying to chase the tail of what is, when what is already, it's like the Ouroboros, you know what I'm saying? Trying to chase its tail when it already is.
It's just very subtle energies, isn't it? It's very
It
subtle.
is. There it is. It's very soft, isn't it? So that softness, that subtleness, you know what I'm saying, that is in everything. It cannot be denied, right? So it's in the seeking and not in the seeking. It's in the talking, it's not in the talking. It's in the thinking, it's not in the thinking. It's always there. Yeah.
I shall hop on again.
All right.
I'll be back.
Okay, thank you. Keep it coming. Hey, Jenny. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
um, so, if there's nothing to do
Yeah.
and nothing not to do,
Yes.
and words fail me here, then in the story, like in time and space, when there's these characters that are teachers and telling people things to do, and I'm assuming that they've had a clear noticing, yeah? The reason they just tell people to do things then is to exhaust the seeking, or
Repeat it again. So in the teach, this can't be thought. So there's nothing to be thought or nothing to be instructed, right? Because it already is what is, right? So there's no instructions really. There's no action that's necessary. But that's just another narrative, isn't it?
yeah, I just wonder why, because it seems like it would perpetuate this frustrating seeking.
Yeah. But there's no one choosing to do or not to do. It's just what is, right? So again, the seeming kind of like blah, 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 to do or not to do is irrelevant. This has nothing to do with what you think or not think. It's just what is. So since there's
Yeah,
already this constancy, you know what I'm saying? There's this, it's already done. So there's no doing or not doing.
yeah, but I don't know. It still seems like this. I know this is a narrative, but it's this frustration. I've been
But
on this path for
but
20
frustration,
years.
but frustration for who though?
Um, yeah, it just seems like in the story in time and space, like a lot of people who've had a clear seeing,
Mm-hmm.
this frustration isn't there. So of course I compare it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm thinking this clear seeing, there shouldn't be this frustration there. This feeling
Frustration
of I'm
seems to, so this is not a state, right? So there's this snapshot of what seems to appear as clarity, as this idea, this romanticized idea of always smiling, always laughing, at peace kind of thing, right? Basically what it is that whatever seems to appear is it. So if frustration happens, there's really no one behind it being frustrated. It's just frustration happening. So there's really no kind of like latching onto something that does not need to be grasped, right? So trying to grasp it creates this seeming frustration when there's nothing to grasp. So it maintains this realness of something that needs to be known. Yeah.
You mean like trying to grasp it in time, like trying to keep it instead of like. Yeah, I don't really understand what you said, but I kind of understand what you said. I don't know.
Hooray! Perfect. It's not about understanding what I say because it's irrelevant what I say about this, right? So again, trying to grasp something in these words is irrelevant because what is seemingly constantly running is this quietude, something that cannot be touched, something that doesn't move. And all of this movement in talking and everything creates this frustration because it's looking for something that doesn't exist. So frustration is seeking for something that doesn't exist.
So can it I don't want to stay away from this non-dual policing of the language. So I'm just gonna say, can it more and more seem like there's two parallel realities going on?
No, because there's no reality and there's no parallels really, right? It's actually just the normalcy of what is. It's the directness. For example, when you wake up in the morning and it's like, before the seeming thoughts come in that there's something wrong, I'm late for and everything. Imagine that is the main thing that's seen, and everything that seems to appear in that, like, all of the thoughts and everything seems to come and go with not much importance. So the irrelevance, even in the relevant, you know what I'm saying? The emptiness in the fullness, the silence in the sound. So it's not either this or that, it's this and that simultaneously. There's nothing missing.
But the grasping could get less.
Well, the grasping focuses on only this, right? Tries to kind of like, for example, there's left and right. To be able to let's just use a story, right? To be able to find liberation, you can't just focus on this because you're missing also this. It has to be simultaneously both. But the problem is there's no you. The you only appears in positions. So the moment you get here, you miss this. The moment you get here, you miss this. So when it's seen that there's no you choosing, you know what I'm saying? Then it doesn't matter if this or that.
Like you said, irrelevant.
It's irrelevant, yeah. So it's not in the noise, you know what I'm saying? You're focusing on the noise. The noise can leave. Yeah, it's the silence in the noise. So the noise come and go. It's not permanent, right? But what seems to be constant is just the emptiness where everything seems to arise from.
But that can become, like with intense mindfulness training, that could actually become another object, right? This emptiness.
Don't awareness. I didn't want to use the word emptiness because
No, I didn't mean you meant that. I just mean the ego could take that and then turn that also into trying to feel that.
But what ego again? It's just another thought, right? So the framework of the character can only basically be a structure of thoughts, basically. There's going to be some felt sense of separation, and it's going to label that as my consciousness, my awareness, or my reality, or something, right? So what is being expressed here is not you. It has nothing to do with you. But since what is listening can only operate in seeming contradictions and opposites, right? So it's not in the opposites, because what this is an all-encompassing wholeness in everything that appears. It does not see separation because it's never been separated. So it's in everything. The you only functions as a separateness. The character only basically moves in opposition. It can only survive as an idea of this or that. So it tries to capture, and again, it's maintaining itself by basically saying my brain, my mind, my ego. But what if there's no you in the first place? So anything that you claim is irrelevant.
No you, so anything you claim
is irrelevant. Yeah.
I had like these insights sometimes, and I had an insight like 3 weeks ago. I didn't understand it, but I knew I couldn't. But it said accept, not like accept like find it comfortable, but it like accept like allow the separation.
But who's allowing the separation?
It seems so counterintuitive. I was like, isn't it about there's no separation? But it kept saying allow the separation. But now I think maybe I understand, or I know I understand, but it's everything.
So what if we not we, so what if there is just a seeing but without a thought? Is there separation if there's no seeing without a thought?
Separation if there is seeing without a thought?
Without a thought.
No, because separation divides and brings in fragmentation.
Yeah.
I mean, thought brings in time, fragmentation.
So if it's seen without a thought, it already is. You're looking right at it. Not you, but the seeing is looking at seeing, meaning that there's no subject and object. It already is.
Yeah, but then why would it say, I still don't understand, why would it say accept the separation? Because there is no separation.
Again, that's just a thought again, right? There's no separation. Again, what's being suggested is just seeing without a thought. That insight was just another reinforcement of the self that's not there.
Ah.
Yes.
I thought it was, but I always thought because it was so persistent.
Well, illusion is a very persistent, but it's not reality, isn't it?
I thought it was intuition. Mm-hmm.
Again, it creates division, you know what I'm saying, by suggesting that there was separation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Can I ask one more this kind of mundane question?
Of course. Love the mundane.
It's not really. Trees seem to really, 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 really pop out, like 3D effect. Why is that?
Again, you know what? When they're seeing, don't make much of it. What is just seeing without a thought. When everything is kind of like, I don't know if you've noticed sometimes when you run really, really kind of like for a long, long time and you see like a patch of garden you've never seen before, because seemingly they're running exhausted. You know what I'm saying? There's just clarity. When there's clarity, it does not need any definition or any meaning. I love walking around because it does not require any kind of understanding. Do you need to understand the tree or the sky and everything? It does not require anything. It's just what is.
Why do those seem to stick out more than like this glass or something? Because everything is just energy. So is it because my mind is then through habituation?
It's just an appearance, and there's really no separation. So the moment that the apparent, there's really no mind if you really look at it. The idea that comes in that this is separate, then it creates this division, but there's really no division outside of a thought. It's always a suggestion that there's a separation. If this is just, singularity or whatever that can never be mentioned, it already is, no matter what it is. So the seeming mind seems to label things as less than or more than, but there's really no less than or more than if this is already what is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Felix. Hey, Felix.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's really, it might look complicated, but when you just close your eyes, what's there?
Who knows?
When you close, it's nothing.
Yeah. But who knows if that's nothing too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. I have the impression that we get like blinded by the pictures that we see or by the outside.
I like that.
So
yeah. It's like
so
the eyes blink 10,000 times a day, but no one notices it. So it's seeing both blank and empty and full simultaneously, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you just close your eyes, and it's not like proposing like a kind of, I know that you were through all that stuff, meditation and all that stuff, but it's so simple. We just look outside for answers, and when we just close the eyes,
it's already boundless, it's already empty.
Yeah. Then we're absolutely in this boundless emptiness. So it's nothing special or nothing difficult to it's not even to attain, but to experience. Just close your eyes and feel. There's nothing. Where's the person when you close your eyes? The person is immediately gone, except for a thought.
Yeah. See,
there might arise this thought that when you close your eyes, that the feeling or the consciousness might be inside a body, but that's just a thought.
Yes.
There's really nothing. Nothing. Just close your eyes and you're right there. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to go. And it's always this. It's always this emptiness that's full at the same time. It's just waiting there for you to close your eyes. That's why we love to go to sleep. We just love this feeling of abandoning this character who's really nerve-wracking all day long. We like to abandon this and to leave this. It's just fabulous.
Beautiful.
It's just fabulous. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's just what is. Eyes closed, wide open eyes. What is?
And what's the difference? What the difference when you just close your eyes and you feel there's nothing. And this nothingness is not empty, it's fullness. It's just what I think what you mean, what's overlooked.
Yeah.
This overlooked emptiness, this between the words.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just this what's always there.
It's the overlooked absence in everything.
That's it. The emptiness, what's full at the same time. So it's just right there, just
beautiful,
waiting.
Yeah.
So
thank you for sharing, Felix.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, there's another person here. Maria, and then House iPhone.
The other person can go first. I've spoken a lot.
No worries. How?
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you? A happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. So good to see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
I see you more than you see me, I'm sure, but at least virtually I see you. But yeah, so yeah, I like to say I don't know because I don't know, and I don't even know who the I is that says I don't know. What is
Beautiful.
that I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And but if I close my eyes and somebody is standing in front of me is going to shoot me, and I just close my eyes instead of running, so in the world of appearances in life,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, I can sure close my eyes, and yeah, and every night is just one, every night is emptiness or whatever, and silence and sound is the same simultaneously, and all that. So the appearance is the same also, life is the same. But in the world of appearances, it seems like there is cause and effect here, right? So
of course,
that is and I don't know why that is, and why sound and silence is the same. I have no clue. I don't know, but it is sure seems like there all these appearances, there is cause and effect, although there's no opposites. It certainly seems like there are opposites and all that. And you cannot figure it out. I don't know. But at the same time, there's always this but, right? It sure feels, instead of shooting somebody, go hug somebody, or spread love rather than spread hate, right? So somewhere, but that's maybe like the AI, it's like it's just the information that's put in somehow, from everywhere else, that makes it feel like, people being happy seems more right, even though there's no right and wrong. Then people feel very unhappy and being hungry and looking for food in garbage or whatever. It just seems, but that's just the way the humaning is, and the information in between us, somehow that makes it feel like this is right and wrong. In the world of appearances, there is no right and wrong. I don't know. I'm not trying to explain the world of appearances, but that it just baffles me, about the world of appearances and how the separation appears. But I can see how whatever this is, whatever the I is a mixture of information, is a mixture of feelings, and who knows what all that is put together, and it makes a sense like there is an I, and who knows, and
isn't it a beautiful, unknowable mystery?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is great to just say, I don't know. Yes. But I know how to fry an egg, though. I do know that, right? I mean, it may not be the best egg, but it's so there's something there that I know. But that's just in the world of appearances. It seems like I can make an egg, and why that happens and how that happens, I have no idea. And is it good or bad? No idea. All that. But in the world of appearances, it sure seems like, the dream is just.
It's like when I used to have nighttime dreams, I used to dream that I was a pilot. But I don't know how to drive an airplane. But in the dream, I didn't question that.
Right. Yeah. And
so what I'm trying to say is that no one really knows how to do anything.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's that even person that is being talked to right now does not even know that it doesn't know.
Right. Yeah. It's like we just don't know really anything about why we're here and how we got to be and where we're going and all that stuff, right? But we know how to make an egg, but that's based on information that was put, whatever the whole information net in the world, how it's all connected. I can see there's nothing separate, because to make an egg, you have to have an egg, you have to have a hand to crack the egg, and so on. So of course there's no separation there. It's all. But yeah,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because you can close your eyes, and you can
But what if
it's
no
still
one's really
gonna happen.
choosing to choose an egg and no one really knows anything? Meaning that this appearance, there's an idea that someone's closing their eyes or opening their eyes. There's an idea that there's someone that knows how to cook an egg. But what if all of that idea seems to collapse completely and it's just this? Meaning that
Yeah.
it's just it's just completely devoid of any understanding or figuring out, right? Because it seems to appear as this narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the appearance of what's happening, and it seems like there's somebody there to make a choice to make it happen and so on.
Yeah.
But who is that somebody? Because it's all interlinked with everything else around it.
There's nothing separate from anything at all, right? So it's
right.
just appearing
Yeah.
as this.
Yeah.
But all of the seeming appearances, of course, is going to feel like absolutely real as well, right? Because it's going to be, you know what, if this illusion is reality is an illusion, but a very persistent one, meaning that there's no reality to anything, but there's this persistence that is felt, that is known, that is understood, that's experienced. But all of that experiencing is all illusory as well. So there's no way of getting anything because it's just this giant, unknowable nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. And there's
that's
no
saying
next,
too much.
as you say. There's no
saying
next,
too much.
as you say, right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it seems like in the
there's
world
an idea of next,
that there's always a next happening,
Yeah.
There's
an idea of next. Yeah.
Right. There's an idea of next. But it's it just keeps appearing until it doesn't, I guess. But it's I guess there's just no answers to anything. No matter what it is.
No.
But it's just, there is, even though life, or is an appearance, and it's all just unknowable, is still happening, and it's still like, even though it feels like there's no one there, but it feels like there's someone there, and that's what's happening, right? It's just like whatever's happening is happening.
Yes, and it's not even happening, but yet it's happening.
Right. And any word we say about it is it's still gonna happen. Whatever. Yeah. Right.
Beautiful. It is. Yeah, it is what it is, no matter what it is. So no matter what we think or not think of whatever this is, it's always going to be what is. And that's like impossible to figure out, right? It's like, what? But yet here it is, appearing as this conversation between House, iPhone, and this character named Emerson. But all of it is what is. All of this is a mystery. Yeah.
Right. And it will always be a mystery. But it's also like, it'll probably always feel like there is someone here that can make a choice, make a choice to do this and that. And that's just what that is.
Yeah, in the narrative, there's going to be
thoughts happens. You can't help not thinking. It's part of being a human. So it's just like, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, in the narrative, in the apparent appearance of this happening, in the appearance, it's going to be a thought, but without the thought, is there really anyone doing any of this? Without a thought, is there anyone doing a choice or not a choice? Without a thought, this will just be dynamic stillness, moving around, flailing around in emptiness.
Right, appearing as humans, doing whatever they do.
But that's just a thought about what is, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's just all made up. The moment that the moment that we say something, that we think of something, it's made up already. Right. For something that cannot be made up.
Right. Yeah. Yes, because yet the appearance was still. Let's say we never ever a word was never born. Let's just say that people never ever spoke.
Yeah.
And there will still be the appearance of people, driving, walking, talking, eating. All kind of things, right? Yeah. It will still appear without words, a world without words, right? So there will still be that, even without words. But it's just an appearance of whatever it is, and who knows? And we'll never find out. We'll never know who is there to know it, anyways. And all that stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good to see you again, Susan. So good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Thank you.
I see your House iPhone once in a while, saying India.
Yeah, right. Thing, yes, I try to get on when I can. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll visit Seattle soon, so I'll message you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If you do, please do so. And I'm still happy to have an event up here if you come up here.
Yeah, thank you.
It
Thank
didn't
you.
happen last time.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah. Soon. We'll talk soon.
Yes. Okay.
There's a couple of questions there. Hey, Emerson, is your family having a birthday party without you? Much later on. So here, we're gonna have a 2-day celebration. So there's gonna be some deep fried turkey and some prime rib and some barbecue. So much later, yeah. Everything is an appearance is a good one. I like that one. Thank you, Casey. And Maria, I forgot about Maria. Maria, hello.
I want to forget about Maria.
No.
I really want to forget about Maria.
Which is another case of specialitis, right?
No. So my question,
which is there's nothing wrong or right about it. It's just what is, right? So
yeah, it's very boring. So as you were talking just now, there was like kind of an in and out, or not really, but so okay. Tonight there's a party.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really tired.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to go.
Yeah.
And in my like tool belt, spiritual right and wrong, it's very much like, don't override yourself. Don't go if you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's better if you stay home. There's a whole story about it. Because it's basically the projection of if I go, I'm going to get more tired and blah, 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 blah.
So the narrative continues to create more and more and more, rather than you're just like, I don't feel like it. You put in a bath, say, play some music, and that's it.
Yeah, but I'm going to go anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Because and then I know. I feel like I have to because it's a friend's birthday. Yeah. I'm going to pressure myself to go. And
you're probably going to have not a good time or a good time. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's going to suck probably. But but that's kind of the thing where I'm like, am I just using the non-duality thing to just feed my unhealthy psychological addictions where
if it's seen what is, for example, this is just an example, right? This is just a narrative. It doesn't have any relevance. But what this character does, if it doesn't feel like going, it doesn't go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But
there's no more filters, right? So
yeah, but why do I still feel like I have to go? And if to realize that to allow myself to not go, I have to do a lot of work. So I have to do some inquiry. Do I really want to go? I have to go because I need them to like me. Who's the me that they want to like anyway? And then eventually I'm
because there's a big belief in the next.
Yeah, 100%. And so
imagine a baby when it's hungry and it believes in the next. Surely it's going to starve. So when it's hungry, it cries.
Yeah.
When it doesn't want to do something, basically it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? When it's happy, it laughs. The simplicity of that is just very profound. That there's really yeah. So if it doesn't want to go, it doesn't go. End of story.
But then if it kind of goes anyway, then that's what...
If it goes, then it goes. You know what I'm saying?
So it's and if I'm I don't want to go, I'm really tired, and then I'm get a second wind, and I'm oh, maybe I should go, and then I go.
There's a lot of second guessing, right? Because there's going to be, you know what I'm saying? And again, this is not advice or whatever. I used to do that too because I used to want to please everybody. But what if there are really no others? This is just all seemingly ideas that there are others. All thoughts.
No, and I totally have done that work 7,000 times, and I've seen that there's no others, and there's still this approval seeking.
Okay.
And I'm
how about this? What if there's no Maria to choose to go or not to go? So everything that it does is just at peace with it. If it goes, there's peace there. If it doesn't go, then it's at peace with it. It's just what is.
Yeah. That's much more helpful, because otherwise I get into the right and wrong thing where I'm
there's no such thing.
Go. I need to be true to myself.
Yeah.
Blah,
and it goes into this spiral of lack. It's just a spiral of lack.
And I'm
Yeah.
either letting them down, or if I go, I'm letting myself down, which I know you've been in that, where it's like, oh my God, yeah.
If it can't happen, then it can't happen. If it will happen, it will happen. It doesn't matter. You don't have any choice in it, really. There's an idea that you have a choice in it. And then that idea that there's this, perpetuates the suffering, that you could do something about it, but there's nothing that you can do about it. Again, what's happening doesn't have anything to do with you.
But you say that you used to be a people pleaser and now you're not.
In the story, yeah. In the story, there's always going to be a character that would do stuff that you would not want to do. You know what I'm saying? Then
Yeah.
when it goes to that stuff, then the suffering happens, because it's like, oh, I shouldn't be here. But what if there is no second guessing? It's just what is. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you know what? I was just too much in my head. I'm actually enjoying this. Or you know what? You go there and you're like, I don't feel like doing this. So I'm like, I'm going to go home. I'm tired. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no one choosing to do anything.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just not that big a deal.
It's not a big a deal. Yeah. Again, you know what? The character, the apparent me, creates this mountain out of a molehill, right? It's this gigantic kind of like task and everything. Everything becomes that when it's just the naturalness of everything, the directness of what is.
But I would say that, like, when I go, and then I get very much into all of my opinions and my advice and all of my shit.
Yeah.
If I don't go, I'll probably just have a bath and like float in bliss.
Yeah.
But that's both the same.
It's the same because there's no one choosing to do that yet. And Gunver's right. In the dream, you can't please everyone anyway.
I know. And I see that all the time and I still can't fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've made it a rule that I shouldn't like still think there's other people.
But who's making that rule? It perpetuates that there's someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is like the spiritual tool belt clusterfuck.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what I did too, right? When I was a seeker, right? Like and there's nothing wrong with being a seeker. Kept on reinforcing that there is something that I could do with all of these tool belts when it's just what is, when it's already playing and it's already over at the same time.
And it's just here.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Daniel, hold on to that question. Or if it's really, really kind of like, why don't we do it? And then we'll go for a break. Daniel, go ahead. Okay. Hey, Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
I'm driving,
too.
but yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I was just driving and I had to stop driving because I had a question.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So I think before I heard something, someone said it's not in the words.
Yes.
And then it's in
everything. It's in everything. Okay. It's in the silence. It's in the noise. It's in the chaos. It's in the peace. It's in what you think and what you cannot think about. It's in your glasses. It's in the blue. It's in the sun. It's in the air. It's in everything. It cannot be missed. Even the idea that I'm missing this is also it. It's in everything. It's in the air. It's in the breathing. It's in the taste of your mouth. It's everything. Everything is it. The questions and the words are an avoidance sometimes of what it is. It's a denial sometimes, right? Because it can't be denied. So the words deny it sometimes when it says that, well, I can't see this, but that is just, it's also it. Even the word I don't see it is also this.
And the character is also it.
The character is also it, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with the character because it's just a character, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
And there's no one here, but there's just character.
There's no one here, but the character will feel absolutely real, moving through time and space, but that's also it. It's not about the denial of the character because it's just a character. There's nothing wrong or right about a character. It's simply what is.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Sounds
Daniel.
good. Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon again. Thank you so much, everyone. I have some cakes to eat.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Ollie. I love you. Thank you,
We'll
Michelle.
talk later.
Oh, you know what? We are going to drink some Blanche de
okay?
Chambly soon. I miss
Oh,
Blanche
yeah.
de Chambly.
Tonight.